Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's crack-a-lackin', humans?
The KID Astronaut Podcast. I did that last time too. The KID Astronaut Podcast, episode 2. This is my guest, Reve Kalell.
How's it going? How you doing?
I'm so excited to talk to this dude. I'm so excited for y'all to experience this guy and
the weirdness,
just the magic that comes out of Denver music. But also, I mean, let's just get into it, man.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. I feel like you are one of the most detailed, creatively, lyrically. You also produce your own music, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like you're kind of like this powerhouse human being in the rough, and I feel like you just have. I honestly feel like you're one of my favorite. I feel like you're one of my favorite rappers. Like when I listen to your music, I'm just like, damn, this is so well done. And I don't feel like a lot of people think about that, but also modern sonically. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I think you still push the boundaries as far as not just let me be dope and let me play in the cut of what the past did, but you're let me be dope for now. Mm-hmm. You know? Is that purposeful?
Oh yeah, and that's something that honestly I feel like I haven't even really done yet. So that's cool that you say that, because I feel really confident about the new stuff I have coming next year.
Yep.
I got 2 albums ready, and I feel like I'm really pushing the boundaries now, but in a cool way.
Okay.
Of just, I want to be remembered as an artist that changed the outlook and the scope of the music industry.
Landscape.
Yeah, the whole landscape. I want to be an influence. Kanye was a major influence, and Eminem was a major influence. But besides that, we've had a lot of rappers just continuing to push the same status quo, right. And now we're in this Lil phase where there's some good music being made, but everything is exactly the same. I want to, not even just in hip-hop, but in all of music, create things that then future generations can go, oh, there's a lane for me. If I'm not this type of mold, I can still go in this route, and they have a clear blueprint on how to do that.
All right. Well, I'm KID Astronaut. This is Reve Kalell.
Yeah.
How about you introduce yourself, man? Who are you?
Let's see. Yeah, I'm Reve Kalell. I'm from Denver. I'm 27 years old. Rap, sing, produce, do some video stuff. I'm writing a couple movies right now and a novel. Yeah, I'm just a weird guy. I was always kind of the awkward, quiet kid growing up, and I always had friends, but I was always just a bit disconnected, I guess. And so I want to exist for the people that feel that same way, the misfits and the people that are just a little bit alternative. I want to show them that it's okay to be yourself and still integrate into society.
Do you still feel like a misfit right now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. But I own it now. But it's even in the local scene. I mean, I've been around for a minute, and a lot of people know me. But it's kind of always just this, oh, he's not making music club songs, and he's not on street stuff, and so they kind of just leave it be. You know, and then a lot of my fan base are the kids that are kind of to themselves. You know, I've formed a lot of fans that are actually introverts and more emotional and battle depression and things like that. And so
what does that look like? I mean, because it sounds like you're talking about your shows, or do you feel like you have an audience? What does your audience, and how do you interact with your audience as an artist?
I stay very connected with my fans. I try to kind of remove that, break down that fourth wall. And especially since my music and everything I push is so weird and different, that then when fans hit me up, I try to just be very
hey,
real. Just what's up? Yeah, we can have a conversation. We can talk. I've helped, talk people through some stuff and become friends with certain fans over time.
Do you like that? Is that easy for you? Because I remember there was a time I was on a tour and this girl hit me up and she was like, man, I'm depressed, and I honestly didn't know how to take it. I was like, hey, you got this, but I just didn't think I was the person for that role, you know? And I think maybe I'm more that now. I feel like I could be a guide at least, just if I can't help you, I know just spiritually the space that I could hold.
Yep.
But yeah, how do you take that?
Well, I just know the power of music, and I know that music is the one avenue of media that still really influences people on an emotional level. And so just because your music is influencing people on this emotional level, they're going to want, if they're feeling vulnerable while listening to it, ideally they're going to want to share that vulnerability with you. And a lot of times they don't have that opportunity because the artists are either too famous or just disconnected or whatever it may be. And so, yeah, sometimes it's been tough. I've been hit with the same thing, like kind of suicidal stuff and things like that. And I definitely don't view myself as any type of guy because I'm very flawed and very imperfect. But if I can at least just be there.
Sometimes that's all people need.
Yeah, just be another human that actually cares.
Do you see yourself as a human? Like, would you, just because I know, like, as an artist, question. It's like almost trying to break out of that limitation.
I'm in a human shell.
Okay.
I'm in a human meat suit, but my soul, my light being is something that has been in different dimensions, in different periods of time, in different planets. I think this might be my first go-round on Earth, where there's other old souls that have lived many lives here. I definitely feel kind of new to these surroundings. What
does that mean to you, man? Because I know a lot of people talk about, like, all right, I'm taking the role of just like, what are you talking about? I'm a human, Like, what is the light being, and how do you, quantify that?
I quantify that as your soul, or whatever you want to call it. I wholeheartedly believe that there is an engine within us that is not a part of the physical body. And that engine moves from place to place throughout our time in the universe. And we spend just different periods of time in different places. And so right here, we might be on Earth, and in order to survive on this planet, you need certain things. And so that's why we're in this body, to be able to survive in this atmosphere, in this environment. But if we were on a star, then we might look entirely different. And again, I have no way to prove this. I know that have you heard of noetic science?
No, I haven't. Please. I'm up in the game though.
So it's a type of theoretical science where they're trying to test. Basically, they're trying to physically prove a lot of science, spiritual theories.
Okay. And so noetic science is like the field of study.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so they do a lot of different things, like one. They weighed the human soul, or at least they believe they did.
Egypt did that.
Yeah, and they done it again.
So it's like
taking
taking. Oh well, no, I'm not even saying it like that. But I'm just asking, like, do they take the science that the Egyptians did?
No, they're just trying to do it now. And so they put people that were like in hospice and basically about to die. They put them on these really exact scales that go however many decimal points, and they just wait till the moment that they died and tried to find a decrease in weight.
And did they find it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like 0.000022 or whatever. It's I don't remember the exact number, but they found enough evidence to think that now.
And they did a couple of experiments, and it was like around the same range.
Yeah, exactly. They did it a lot of times, and it was always in that same range. And so there's books on this.
Damn.
They also did a cool project where they were measuring plants when you talk to them versus like when you say positive things to them.
Oh yeah.
Versus when you say hateful things to them, and how they grow. And the plants that got positive affirmations ended up having different like properties in the actual plant. Like it changed the way that it grew.
There's a water experiment that I've seen with ice that they do this similar kind of thing. And like before, like even the water I gave you, I was like, I prayed over it, I just like blessed it, you know what I'm saying? But so I guess talking about plants and talking about growth, you're a dad. This is pretty recent for you.
Yeah, man. My baby was born September 2nd.
What's her name?
Kali Wolf.
Damn.
Cast. Like John Lennon. Or like John Lennon was good, but it's not like he was the greatest in any way. But he was 33. Albert Einstein. Einstein was a 33. And like when you look at Einstein, he's kind of just a kook. Like dude was bright, but he was also wrong about a lot of stuff. But he was a 33, and energetically, he was confident in what he was doing. And everybody was like, this guy's got the codes, man.
So are you discrediting Albert Einstein?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Whoa,
shit.
Yeah.
Welcome to podcast episode 2, motherfuckers. All right.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know if Facebook saw any of that. How do we feel?
They were checking back in for about 30 seconds.
All right.
Okay.
We'll figure it out later.
We'll just keep it rolling, yeah.
Let's just figure it out later.
I know we were at the kid thing.
Just in case, this is the KID Astronaut Podcast episode 2 with Reve Kalell.
What's up, humans?
So right now we are kind of in the mid. We've been talking for a while, but I just asked you about being a dad.
Yeah, man.
How has that changed you? Also, as a man, do you identify as a man? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because my last guest identified as a two-spirit man, and I'm learning a lot about just identity and like how many layers someone has, and also the layers that they don't show.
Yeah,
like we were talking about.
It's actually good that you say that because I've been meaning to say I actually do identify as a lesbian.
Okay.
I'm a lesbian.
All right.
So I still pull girls, but I just do it in a more emotionally sensitive way.
All right. That's how. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, fatherhood is crazy, man. So my baby mama is a lesbian.
Okay.
And so
That's like Kalani. I mean, I think Kalani is like bi, but it's still like a lot of people were just like, wait, what?
yeah, exactly.
But I love that. That's
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, talk about that.
And so we did like the open relationship thing for a while. She's with a girl right now, but so it's a very interesting experience to have a child and to be fully engaged. Like we're on very good terms, but also have that level of separation. That's not exactly how I envisioned it going into things, but it's taught me a lot about what my responsibilities are and where my ego lies within that whole thing. You know, because a lot of times we place our ego on our kids. We place so much pressure on what we want them to be or what we wanted them to fulfill in our lives, rather than just saying, okay, how can I best or be the most sure that they are getting everything that they can from me? And that doesn't just mean money or things, but, you know, lessons and presence.
When it comes to the ego thing, do you feel like it's like honestly just like fucking with your ego too, like more than just like about your kids, but like as a, like for me, I went through a situation where one of my son's moms like was with someone else for a little bit, and I like freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
I was just like, no, like this, not like no, like you can't be with this person, but I was just like, no, I'm gonna like say how I feel, because I was like, fuck that, like I don't like this. Because it was hard, man. It's like when you're like a dad role, like I don't know, I don't want anyone else to be dad. Like that's me.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. It's definitely tough.
It's an ego fuck.
But that's exactly why I say that, because at the end of the day, I believe in the universe and the synchronicity of it, and I don't believe that there's accidents. And so if somebody comes into my kid's life,
I can't even
good or
recommend
bad,
the music anymore.
I'm
I just
choosing
can
to
only
believe
make
that
it
they're
up on
there
the
for
flow
a
like
reason.
this.
And there's some
that's
type
what
of
jazz is
lesson
all
attached
about.
to
It was
it.
invented by people that didn't even speak the same languages, just hanging out. Some of them spoke Spanish, some of them spoke Italian, some of them spoke French,
might be
some of them
the
spoke English.
Spotify.
And the only way they could talk to each other was the
that's a little
Hey,
lo-fi
Spotify,
chill.
what's up?
the
That's a
music.
little lo-fi chill.
What was I just saying?
You're saying if someone comes into your kid's life, good or bad, you still see them as a different.
At least I'm trying to, you know, because at the end of the day, I don't want my own ego to change my kid's perception of me. You know, like if they're only gonna get a biased perspective, yeah, we get deep.
No, it's real. It's fucking real.
They don't understand the full scope, and so if they only see me acting out of ego and kind of freaking out and being in a negative space, then that's just gonna be their perception of
Do
who
you
I
see
am.
your daughter, like how old is she now?
She's only 3 months.
Do you see her like responding if you're ever in that space, like from an ego space? Do you see how she responds to it at this age?
Yeah. Well, and also she has to deal with more than just me, and so like I've seen her emotionally react. She's a very serious kid too, and so
My son Z, like I feel like maybe they're like spiritually related in that sense. Like I feel like, yeah. But anyway.
yeah, they're just super serious, and I think it's almost because me and my baby mama are both so emotionally all over the place that their reaction to that is kind of to just be like very calm and centered and observing.
How has it changed you being a dad?
Oh, it changed my whole life, man. So when I found out, something just clicked in me, and I'm sure, as you know. And it was this real crossroads moment where I was like, look, now you got a kid coming in 9 months, so it's either figure this music thing out and make a living for yourself so that you can provide, or you gotta give up. Or not, if not give up, you gotta make a big pivot into being able to provide in another way. And that just didn't sit well with me. You know, like the whole thing. That's I would be miserable if I just like got some marketing job or something. And, like, yeah, like it's just not
Reve
me.
Kalell.
Oh, for real? Because I can turn it on. I can turn on the white guy voice.
Hello. Fucking, there's a movie, Sorry to Bother You. I haven't seen it because it's just like, it's too close. I don't care. I'm over it.
What's it about?
I don't know, but I know that there's a scene where he's doing like the white guy telemarketer voice. I mean, we could talk about it, but I guess my feelings are, I'm glad you went. I'm glad.
Oh
you went,
yeah.
You know.
And I guess what I was leading to say is that so in the months after that,
No shade to white people. No shade to white guys. No shade. No
hey,
shade.
I'm part white, man. What did I say about white people?
No, I was
the white guy voice.
I was saying the white guy voice.
Oh, don't get it twisted. The white guy voice works.
I know.
That's not a slant. That's a.
Like, yeah, it's just. Yeah.
It's just the fact of the matter. I'll come in like, how you doing, sir? But yeah, so in the following months, I kind of took a look at everything that I was doing with my music to that point, and I don't know if you've ever had this, but I kind of had this freak out moment where I was like, oh shit, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
Like I am not there, and rather than even quit there, I just started exploring into more stuff and just trying to get there. Like, well, shit, I just better try. And that's when I made Genesis, the album.
Yeah, man.
Was just in that space of like hoping I'm good enough to actually do this. But that was the first time I ever made a product that I was happy with. So
you got bars. You're a dope producer. One of the things I think that struck me, obviously, are both of those things, but lyrically, as a MC from Denver, Colorado, more specifically, and you know, no shade to Denver artists, but kind of shade. Like, there's not a lot of people rapping dope, dude. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
And I felt like what you brought to the table was actually really dope. And like, when it comes to rap music, I honestly don't give a fuck unless it's tight.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not just saying that. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of over music in general, just because there's been so much like saturation of the same sounds that sometimes I get burnt out. But your music is really refreshing.
thank you, man.
And visuals, like, please check out Reve Kalell. You guys will dig his shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, so it sounds like that all has been intentional.
Yeah. Well, and just like you said, especially with hip hop, I don't really listen to hip hop. I have a few old school artists that I bump just for nostalgia purposes, but I listen to a lot of Prince, Gautier, the Who, Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, a lot of more just wide variety of different styles and different eras of music. And so the reason I make hip hop is because there's an energy in hip hop that is in no other genre. And it's just something that gets people riled up. And I find that very intriguing.
What do you think that energy is for you? Because usually how that manifests, like for me, and why I like having rapped as much, is because it's like I don't ever really know what to talk about, and I'm not necessarily in that headspace. But it doesn't feel like you're like talking about toxic shit. You know what I'm saying? But you still have that energy and that ferocity as a lyricist, you know?
Yeah, because it's not the content. Like that's a common misconception, is I think that people think the reason gangster rap gives you that energy is because they're talking about killing people and selling drugs and all that. It's not the case. It's just the sound. It's the heavy low end, the 808s. No other genre really has 808s thump like that. But that's a moving thing, that low vibrational frequency. The energy, the tempos, the keys, like the key choice of hip hop and the cadences, all of that gets people hyped. And so I kind of take that as a challenge, and I want, like, how can I talk about things that are interesting and that will help people, like help lead people down a rabbit hole of thought in the same way that gives them that energy of true hip hop. Because a lot of times the conscious rap is just boring. It's on a boom bap beat, and they're just like, it's like, oh, shut up. So
I know that's why I have like so much respect for what you do, because it's hard, man. It's like actually hard to, I think, not exist in like, there's a very like narrow path that I think you found, and like, I don't know, man. I'm a fan, you know, like real shit.
I appreciate it. And likewise, man, like I've been following your stuff since the Air Dubai days, and Air Dubai was actually what led me to create my own band.
Really?
Yeah, because I had seen what these guys had done.
Yeah, what was your band now?
Skyla,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I liked with the rapping and the singing. It was, 'cause in my head it was like, oh, maybe I don't have to make just hip hop. Maybe I can start doing other stuff and be able to fully express myself if it's in this lane. And you know, it worked. It's just like with you, like you have your moments, but then it's tough to manage everything. But yeah, I've always had respect for you, just because you seem to always continue to reinvent yourself, and while staying true to your foundation, but always adding new factors and adding new levels to what you do. It's impressive.
Thanks, man. So there was something that I think both of us wanted to talk about. But there's a theory that the universe is a simulation. There's a lot of theories going around, but that one's kind of interesting to me. That one's true?
Yeah, that one's true.
All right.
I mean, in my mind,
thoughts.
I think that, well, first of all, to believe in a creator or in a God is to believe in simulation theory.
Okay.
Because if this universe is made by intelligent design, then it is some type of simulation.
There's something orchestrated.
Yeah, exactly. Something orchestrated about it. That doesn't mean it's in a computer, but there's something orchestrated about it, something simulated.
So what do you call it if it's not computerized?
Well, I don't know if it's not. I'm just saying that because I think that's a lot of times that's the thing that throws people off. Like, oh, I'm not in a computer.
Yeah, I'm not a sim, bro.
But there's levels like we just don't even understand. The only thing I try to tell people is we've come this far in virtual reality in what, 30 years?
Like 5 minutes, bro.
Yeah,
I saw some crazy virtual reality shit last year. I was just like the stuff that like technology is able to do is insane.
30 years ago, we didn't even have cell phones.
Right.
Well, barely. We had
they were like
huge
the
brick phones.
Yeah.
And so you go from that to really intense virtual reality in a 30-year period. Well, what's to say that our society or any society didn't hit that same level of growth, but then continued on that level of growth for 1,000 years rather than 30, which we may do. We may not.
We
but
might be that generation.
It may be us, yeah. But if you just look at that trend and try to grasp how much we would accomplish if we accomplished this much in 30 years, the idea of us creating another world, a virtual world that is as realistic as ours, is not only possible, you know it's exactly what we would do. If we had the capability to create a mini world, somebody's gonna do it.
And so do you think, like, are you of the thought that we are like a world of a larger world? Like the Rick and Morty episode?
Yeah.
There was like a battery being, or like, there was like the Who's.
I definitely find that interesting. It could be some type of testing ground. I don't know, honestly. But
what do you mean when you say testing ground? Though? What does that look like? Test for what?
For souls, for spirits. Like let's say, and then again, this is just all hypothetical.
Sure.
But let's say you're training souls for the higher realm.
Okay.
Because in the next realm, there's a lot more pressure, and the stakes are a lot higher, and you're required to be a lot better. And so they put you kind of in a training sim, Earth, where you get different experiences and different lessons. And then when you've gone through enough training, then you graduate to the next realm. That's something I've always found interesting. But when you start looking at Fibonacci and pi and how these codes are everywhere in nature, to me, that's the smoking gun. It's code. it's coding, just like you would code a program or a website or anything. We see code all over our reality. And so if we're not in some type of simulation, then what is that?
So what do you do with that information?
I choose to believe that we're in a simulation and that my life is some sort of game where I'm trying to find hidden clues to get to the next level. And I don't believe in coincidences, and I believe that there's someone watching over. I'm not a religious person at all. But that's just a way that it keeps things fun and interesting, and I stay motivated and I stay inspired, and I don't slack off when nobody's watching because I feel like somebody is watching. And there's a deep down, there's a part of me that's like, well, I want to beat the game. I want to accomplish so much that I somehow beat it, and they tell me, they're like, yo, you nailed it.
Low key, bro. You scored the highest score.
Yeah, you broke
No, that's cool, man. I definitely think that that's something to aim for. I guess I'm trying to think about what my personal thoughts are. Is like, I definitely agree with the code. I definitely agree that maybe it's not computerized, but there is like an orchestrator and an orchestration. I've also seen like glitches in like I'll be looking at something and I've seen like the shimmering like thing, and I'm like, oh shit! Like,
have you ever seen the moon move?
No.
That's something that I've caught twice now, and I've met like 2 other people that have. But I've seen it with my own eyes, and I was not high or I was not on any type of thing. I was driving to Wounded Knee, to the Native Reservation, and I was looking out the window just at the moon, and it just dropped, like maybe about 2-3 inches in sky length, and we all kind of gasped.
Everyone else saw it too?
Yeah, everybody else saw it, and to this day I have no.
What was your thought? Like, what did you feel intuitively about?
Like a glitch. It just felt like exactly what you said. That's what triggered me. It's like it felt like a glitch. Like things just glitched out real quick, and all of a sudden the moon moved. I couldn't think of any other possible explanation because there's no way it actually moved that far, that fast, and there's no way all of us perceive that at the same time as an illusion.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I don't know, man. This universe like continues to surprise me, and there have been days where I'm like just chilling, like bored as fuck, and I'm like, man, like I can't believe I've been through some crazy shit, and then I could also be thinking like, god damn, it's still fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I wanted to talk about the Reds. Like my last guest, Tomas Lopez, was an indigenous person. I wasn't doing this. Thank you, man. I wasn't doing this on purpose, but I think it is cool that
I can't even
a niche of all.
I know. I'm just like, hey, let's go, fam. Let's go. You know.
I know what Jeff was
But
all
yeah,
about.
like,
Because we
what
went
is
to
that
like people that
experience?
didn't even speak the same languages, just hanging out.
Have you been to the res?
Some of them
I
spoke
have never
Spanish, some of them spoke Italian, some of them spoke French.
not-
some of
I
them
don't know
spoke
if I want to
English.
go there. It's like-
the only way they could talk to each other
it seems
was
like
through
people can.
music, like music.
It's not that bad. I mean, it's definitely a culture shock, and it's intense. It's a trippy place, but I do think that people should go because it helps you understand, especially when you spend an extended amount of period of time there. It helps you understand the dynamics of systemic oppression and how that it can exist without a direct presence of an authoritative figure. Because the cops aren't on the res.
Right.
Like, it's just them.
Yeah.
And so theoretically there's nothing really stopping them from rising up and creating their own infrastructure and taking themselves out of poverty. Nothing stopping them. But the thing that is stopping them is systemic oppression. And so like a story I like to tell people is it's this old experiment. These scientists, they had a bunch of monkeys in this cage, and they left the cage open and they put some bananas on top. But then every time one of the monkeys would go reach for the bananas, they would blast them with a water hose. Then after a little bit, they brought in a second batch of monkeys to stay with the original monkeys. When the second batch of monkeys went to reach for the bananas, the old monkeys stopped them because they didn't want them to get sprayed. And so then eventually none of them were reaching for the monkeys. Then they took out the old monkeys, the original monkeys that got sprayed in the first place. And so then you just had these newer monkeys, and then they brought in a third batch of monkeys but nobody reached for the bananas. But now it had been 2 generations since any monkey had been sprayed. You see what I'm saying? But just the trauma from that first generation that got blasted with the hot water hose lasts all the way to this new generation that theoretically they could just reach up and grab the bananas.
Yeah.
You know, they could really be living a good life, eating bananas, chilling, but they're too afraid because of systemic oppression.
So what do you do because it seems like you are reaching new heights and it seems like you do have access to these people. How are you kind of carrying that mantle?
Well, I'm a believer. So early in my life, I had a lot of dreams and a lot of visions that led me into studying different Native American prophecies. And one in particular was the 7th generation prophecy. I don't know how familiar
So
you are
Moss
with
talks
it.
about that as well.
Yeah, and so...
But how do you... Yeah, I would like to hear how that reflects for you.
Basically, Crazy Horse and Black Elk convinced the Native people to surrender during that original time. Mm-hmm. And it was under the pretense that 7 generations later...
They'll still be there.
They would still survive, and then that would be the generation that would win the war, and that would restore order and freedom. And so I had always just kind of just liked that. I found that very interesting. But then when I went to Standing Rock in 2016 during the No Dapple stuff, I felt it, and I had incredible paranormal experiences that that proved there was something really mystical. There's something really real that goes on there. And so everything that I do now on the reservations is just to empower the kids there that, hey, this is the time to win. We're the 7th generation, you know, and so now's not the time to keep your head down and feel bad about the oppression that has taken place. Now's the time to reinstill that warrior spirit and go out and win and go out and instill the Native way in America, because the Native culture needs to be heard.
So what does that look like for you? I mean, is the winning, what is that? What is the win?
I think the win would be huge legal changes to how the reservations are run, huge buyouts, basically. Well, not buyouts, but kind of bailout money, stimulus packages. And then past that, a larger presence of Native Americans in the White House and in government and in politics to present that perspective. Because the Natives are very spiritual. They're very tied to the earth. They're very connected with the earth. And that's what we need in government right now, is people that are a little bit more conscious of what's happening on the planet and what's happening in our own hearts. To me, I think that would be a win. It's not like you're going to have the Natives dominate the whole planet, because that wouldn't be any more right than...
Yeah, it's not it's like looking for balance versus trying to, be in the dominating thing.
But right now there's no balance. They're all just in these forgotten about towns. You know, Wounded Knee doesn't even have a gas station. The whole town, they don't have a gas station. They don't have a supermarket. They don't have, you got to go 30 miles to get to a gas station. And so I was at my friend Terrence's house, and I just asked him for some water. And he's like, oh, bro, we're out. And I'm like, well, where can I go grab some? And he's like, Pine Ridge, 30 miles. I'm like, dude, what? You know, and so that's not balance. That shouldn't exist in today's America.
And it does. This was when?
Like a month ago, 2 months ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this is now. That's what I'm saying. This is right now. They are completely disconnected. And so that's where I felt like, not a duty, because I definitely don't believe that. And they wouldn't want me to think that, but I feel called to just do my part to help empower.
And how do you feel like other people that might be listening, how do you feel like they can help? Because it's like, it sits on my heart too, man. The imbalance, I feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think I would like to also be a changer, agent in that change towards getting to that place where things are in balance.
I think it depends on the person, obviously, but a good starting point is just doing your research and learning the true history of what happened and what continues to happen, how their rights were stolen and how these treaties were completely voided. And from, because I think you have to have that moment where you get so heartbroken that you're pissed off. You have to have that in order to understand how they've been living for the past 2, 3, 4, 5 generations, you know? Like, you have to understand that. And then from there, there's multiple groups that you can get involved with, whether it be donating or whether it be providing a service. I know they always need people that can just help in different ways.
So there's just like, do the research, number one,
Yeah.
and then just like find it.
Yeah, just find it.
Something.
There's Native pockets in your hometown. No matter where you are, there is a Native American community. So if you want to get involved, find them. Start there. But do your research. Don't just go. And because like a lot of times, and again, nothing against white people, but it's this thing called like a white savior mentality, where
I can help you with that.
exactly, where like they'll come in, and I've seen that a lot on the res, where these wealthier white people will come in and bring money and bring goods, but they do it in a very like, we're here to save the day kind of way. And then,
And what effect do you think that has?
well, again, that's why I said you got to do your research, because you have to remember what they went through, and where the white people were the ones that took their land away,
Right.
and that took their resources and took everything. And so you coming in just with money and like flexing that you're helping them is irritating. It can be very infuriating. And so that's not to say they don't need the help. It's just you have to understand how to go about doing things. You know?
I'm trying to play like I hope you can tell I'm trying to play like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Just because there might be somebody who does want to be like, I genuinely don't, and I want to help. So I hope that I can facilitate that role as well. But I think that there's I wanted to put this podcast together for multiple reasons, but I think one of the things that I'm so happy that it's coming out of it is like action steps. So
Well, no, I'll just say real quick,
Yep.
that's what I did. Everything that I'm saying is exactly what I did. And so I had this urge to want to be involved. And so I did research, I learned everything I could, and then I got involved. I started by going to a protest in Denver. It was for a Native dude that had gotten killed by police. He was schizophrenic, and he was having an episode, and they came and just shot him in the head. And so I went to a protest for him, ended up meeting his brother, Gabriel Black Elk, and formed a friendship with him over time. And then he would start letting me know of other things going on. And that's how I ended up in Standing Rock. And so it's not like I had these connections. I just wanted to get involved and did.
my Instagram live is we're at 40 minutes. All right, I have one more question for you.
For sure.
So it seems like you're really into time travel.
Yeah.
Seems like you're really into dimensions, aliens. Can you give me your perspective on any one of those topics?
Yeah, I can give all of them. My ultimate life goal is to time travel.
Tight. Okay.
Yeah, and I know that sounds ridiculous.
Kid Astronaut is from the future, so I know all about.
We're
time
probably both from the future. That's
all
why we get
That's what I'm
along.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely, that's just a goal of mine. I believe that it's possible, and I want to do my part in the research that leads up to that moment. And as far as dimensions are concerned, I have a wide range of theories regarding that, but I don't know. What are your theories on different dimensions?
I've literally I've been in conversation with someone, and I've been like, I don't like this. Like, I don't like this reality. I don't like this situation. So I've just been like, nope. And then just like seeing the situation change.
Yep.
And been like, oh shit, I'm cool. Like, we were just in a fight, but now I'm like, all right, now we're just getting through it, you know? And like literally having those moments where a situation would come to me and I'd be like, nope.
Yep.
Okay, all right, I'll take this one.
Exactly.
And like flipping through and like seeing it being like, nope, you know?
I tie my belief into quantum physics and into quantum theory.
Yeah.
And so, when you're observing a particle, that particle is a solid because you're observing it. but it also exists as an infinite
Other things.
potential. It's a waveform of infinite potentials that exist around you, and those are the unobserved. And so view that with dimensions. It's like, this is the reality that is solid because it's the one you're observing. But if you spend enough time observing another one, then that one becomes solid. And the others, all the others are unobserved potentials around you at all times, just waiting to be observed.
And then aliens?
Oh, yeah. I mean, to me, I actually got in an argument. I stopped talking with a girl because she didn't believe in aliens.
Okay.
Because I'm like,
Damn.
at this point, well, there's probably like, what, a quadrillion planets?
Yeah.
Is quadrillion after trillion?
I mean, I honestly, I don't know. The whole idea of just like the concept of space, like
Yeah.
Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, like even that, I'm just like, there's no way that is it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree wholeheartedly, but let's assume it is, because that's a whole nother episode.
Sure.
You want to get into the flat Earth and the dome thing and all that, but let's say space is the way it is. That means there's like a quadrillion planets or hundreds of trillions of planets, and you're telling me that nowhere on those hundreds of trillions of planets life was unable to form, and this is the pinnacle of creation? Our goofy asses? Like, I don't believe it. And so
Elon Musk just shot a Tesla into space. I think that is the craziest, like,
he's
human
next
story.
level. He's really starting
I
on some
hate
next
that.
level stuff,
I
man.
hate that. But yeah.
His middle name is Reeve, by the way.
Oh really?
Yeah, I was like,
Oh,
when I
nice.
found that out,
I
I
didn't
was
know
like, yes.
Yeah, that's a win.
I can't wait to meet him just so I can say
Hey
that.
man, yeah. So you broke up with her? You broke up with this girl? She didn't believe in aliens?
Yeah, we weren't even dating. We were just talking. Like, we
Oh,
were
and
just
then
like,
it's just over.
yeah. But as soon as she said that, I just was checked
So
out.
what are your thoughts on aliens? Like, how do you receive them?
I think that aliens are at the
Do you think there are aliens on Earth?
100%. I think that humans exist. I think humans are aliens
I've heard that.
to a certain extent. I believe that there was a species of humans that were on Earth. Aliens came down and did gene splicing and did those types of things, and that's where the real
Like
advanced,
the Anunnaki?
exactly, whatever you want to call them, because
Sure.
there's a lot of difference in opinion over that type of stuff. But if you just look at every single religion in the world, they all tell the same story.
There's a tribe in Africa, I forgot what they're called, but they said they originated from Sirius B, and it's like this tiny star, like right next to Sirius.
What tribe is that? I haven't heard that. That's very intriguing.
Dude, I'll have to send it to you.
Yeah.
But so this was like years ago, right? And they're like, we're from this tiny ass planet, and they have these drawings in their cave, like detailing it. They do this festival every year. So recently, I think it may have been like 2015-16, they sent like a telescope up to that spot, and they see this tiny little star.
Yep.
And these are people that lived, like, you know, and it's not like a fake like tribe, like
When
like I'll
Egypt
send
tracked
this to
that
you.
same star. That's why I find that very intriguing, is that Egypt tracked Sirius's movement through hieroglyphs. Like every day they would track its placement in the sky. And on top of that, if you do like kind of scientific research as if the Anunnaki were real, and kind of like if the Garden of Eden were real, where would that be? And a lot of evidence shows that it would be somewhere in Africa.
Ethiopia or
Exactly. So
I mean, the African, that could be a whole podcast in itself too. But yeah, man, I just wanted to ask your thoughts about that, because I see as a part of your brand, and that's one of the things that we were discussing before we started. It seems like as a part of your brand, I don't know if do you call it a brand?
sure, yeah.
I call KID Astronaut a brand, even though it's like myself. There is like brand elements that I have.
We're products.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
We are, bro. I mean, you might not want to accept it, but in the rest of the world, you're a product, you know. And if they enjoy your product, they'll use it a lot and they'll engage with it.
In
so.
that realm. Yeah. Okay. Because I was like, I'm no goddamn.
I'm a real boy.
Yeah. But yeah, how does that come into your music, and where does that go? Where do you see that kind of continuing? Because it sounds like you're making movies. Is that a part of your universe still?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. And it's just something that I will always continue to dive into and explore. Hell, I may go to Mars if, depending on what Elon Musk's situation looks like. I know he's planning on doing that for 2027.
I think it was 2020, honestly. Like, I think he's ready to
Really
do
soon. Well, I'm gonna take a couple years, but anything's on the table. I want to explore, and I want to aliens and past that, I just want to explore. And
I want to do a moon festival, like a festival on the moon. I think that could be really dope.
super lit.
And I could see that happening. It could be done.
You have to have Kid Cudi on the bill.
I want Kid Cudi. I want fucking Tyler the Creator. You should be on that shit. I thought Kendrick would be cool. I don't know, SZA, just because she's cool.
You gotta get some trippy stuff too.
Yeah,
Some alt chain or something.
yeah, that would be fire, dude. Elon Musk or SpaceX.
Yeah, hit us up.
Let's go.
Let us do the first music festival on the moon.
On the moon, right? Like,
It's
yo.
time. It's time.
All right, man. So we talked about this just because we are nearing the end of the podcast. We talked about this, and I actually want to do it. So I'm a beatbox,
Oh yeah.
and if you don't mind, can you kick a rhyme? Do you mind turning down the?
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Might fuck up. Hey. Reeve. Here's a list of things I'd rather do than listen to your fucking opinion. Be stuck in detention, be puffing some brick shit. Get a helping hand from somebody that's limbless. On the acid trip and never come to my senses. Stuck in the shadow realm and track the lower dimensions. Oh yeah, I'd rather be a runaway witness to a mafia murder and then my feet all cemented. Flowing to the bottom of the river. No, I never been a victim, so I'd rather be the killer. Yo, I grew up looking Malcolm in the middle. Nah, Heisenberg this shit, I swear the story now. Simple now, homicide, these instrumentals, they gon' make me do it. Shit tighter than shit kill up in the Buick. You dry, but the flow fucking fluid. I start a new movement, okay, now get to it. Three's up.
Some of them spoke Italian.
So many lines in there, dude.
Yeah, that was
Tighter than
tight.
Shaq in the Buick. There were some other ones. I'm gonna go back through this and watch and be like, that was a fucking good ass. I might transcribe that just so you know, so I can put it on the post. Reve Kalell just wrote this shit. Well, thank you guys very much. Reve Kalell one more time.
Yeah, man, thank y'all, appreciate y'all. And hit me up, if you don't believe in aliens, hit me up, DM me, because I want to know why. And I'm not even like hating, I'm curious. What are your reasons why you don't believe in them? How does that even make sense?
Yeah, I think there's so many species just like it's pretty like probable. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to know, because like the girl that I stopped talking to, I asked her that and she was like, I just don't believe. And I think that is what pissed me off. Because it's like, wow.
Kind of close-minded.
Yeah, but if you guys have some real logical reasoning behind it, please hit me up and let's have a real discussion.
This is KID Astronaut Podcast episode 2. Thank you to We Are Denver, Samson over here for running our audio and video today. Also, just because I got to do the plug, KID Astronaut is playing Globe Hall December 12th. This will be like a farewell show before I move to London, so please come. And do you have
London?
anything? Yeah, man.
We didn't even talk about that.
I know, we don't
Hold
talk
up, what you
about-
doing in London?
Just growing as an artist, man. They're so dope over there, just creatively and stylistically and fashion-wise.
That's tight.
So I just want to go and be inspired, and also because I've lived in Denver my whole life. So I want to make,
We got to hit the lab while you're out there.
dude, let's
I'ma
hit it
come
here.
out. We can hit the
I
lab.
want
We can do both.
Yeah, like, do you have anything you want to plug? Any talk?
Not really. Just
Follow you.
Yeah,
'cause
follow
there's
me.
Stuff coming out.
there's a
literally all
lot
the
coming.
time.
Yeah, I drop music every week.
And your page is just interesting. Like, I can't wait to go through your Instagram. I'm sorry I wasn't following you on Instagram. Like, I follow
it's
you on
all
Facebook, Twitter. But yeah, man, I'm excited to go through and just see, like, your creativity. So
Yeah, I'm always dropping new stuff. I'm always kind of posing different questions. I love having conversations with people and engaging with people. And starting next year, I don't even want to flex, but I'm telling you right now, the music is I'm going to have like a 6ix9ine type run, like hopefully without the prison.
yeah,
But
hopefully, yes.
where
Well,
he
not
had that-
hopefully, but yes, don't do that. But
But that
Tekashi
series of radio hits, like
fire.
we got some stuff coming. So I'll show you after we stop this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Much love and peace.